Welcome in, everybody. How are you guys doing? We're back with another episode of Nintendo Rewind. I'm Cody Christian, and I am joined by my co-host Josh Taylor tonight. We're rewinding and recapping last week for Nintendo, but before we dive in, Joshua, how was your past week, my friend?
It has been a pretty interesting one. Not bad at all, really. Other than some of the work part, but you know what? Outside of that, it's been pretty good. I can't complain for it being like a month after vacation or so.
You're finally settling back into the routine of just like, hey, this is boring life again.
For what it is, I don't think I'm ever settled in a routine, but yeah,
I understand.
For as good as I can be, yes.
I don't know, man. Like it's been crazy busy around my neck of the woods. Like various like different small things have been going on, so I haven't had like a whole lot of time to stream. And then on top of that, like even when I have had time to stream, there are things that I would rather be doing. So like you know, you and I were talking about it a little bit before the show. We, the wife and I have been playing Fortnite, and I never in 1,000 years, I feel shame. I feel so much gamer shame right now. Like I never in 1,000 years would have played Fortnite, but they started this like new Marvel crossover season called Absolute Doom, and it's like, you've got Doomstat and Doomcastle and all these like variant soldiers and all these crossover characters that you can go and like do missions with on the map. And Courtney and I we don't play online shooters, especially online shooters like that where it's like, you know, battle royales. You know, it's just never been my jam. But dude, we're kind of cracked, man. Like we are running a 10% win rate in that game playing together on duos. We're playing zero build, mind you, because we can't play Minecraft while we shoot people.
Oh, yeah. I do the same if I can.
We're kind of cracked, so I've really actually been enjoying it.
My wife likes it a lot. We're gonna have to join up sometime. I gotta get her. She's out of space on her Switch, but other than that, yeah, we gotta do that.
Yeah, get that fixed. We'll do some quads. It'll be fine. We'll drop into Doomstat Castle.
Mandalorian is what broke me when that went on. Like a couple friends was asking me to play and all this. That's what broke me. That's when I got in there. I haven't played in a while now, but
I never would have pictured myself like admitting to playing Fortnite. Like, and I feel great gamer
I'm playing
shame.
Disney Speedstorm.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Free to play games.
I think I judge that more than Fortnite. I'm kidding.
I judge it.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm a sucker for it. So Figment
won me
over.
I understand. Chris is not with us this week, by the way. He is in the process of doing some things for himself, so he's a little bit busy. He probably won't be with us for the next couple of weeks, but if you guys want to know what's going on with him, go give him a follow over on the old Twitters and all of his social media stuff. Please make sure that you go keep up with everything Super Nintendo Dad. But no, it's been, I don't know, it's just been a crazy busy week. So I'm hoping tomorrow I'm going to try to get back into my stream swing of things. I've also been working on a secret project behind the scenes that you kind of know a little bit about, Josh. So like I talked to you guys about it. We may be sponsoring a charitable event coming up in the future. Who knows? You know, us as a podcast. So stay tuned for that. But that being said, let's dive into some MyNintendo digital and physical rewards news. Let's do it. What we got going on this week? A whole lot of nothing, right? So
pretty much. Yeah, Nintendo's very slow right now. We picked a heck of a time. I mean, we started the podcast a little while back now.
We started it at its end of life. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Not really the year to have started it, but I think we've done pretty darn good for what we have to work with here. Wait.
It's somewhere over here. We can point. We can figure it out.
So yeah, I mean, pretty much we're looking at the MyNintendo rewards. That's up. There's not really anything new. There's no new physical rewards or anything like anything like that. We still do have these icons up. So these are the Super Mario ones from various games. If you haven't grabbed them yet, you're getting a good amount of time to grab them. So they are all back up there. There are some nice ones, especially again if you missed them before. You might want to go ahead and grab them because who knows, they might never pop up again. So that is what we got there. These are available until August the 26th. And now for the most important icons that they've ever put up, they are still there. The Donkey Kong Country ones is what I'm talking about, of course. They're available until September the 2nd. You can see all of them there. You got your Donkey Diddy, K. Rool, Funky, Cranky, Ramby, and Winky. So you can't really ask for much more. And hopefully,
anyway, you could ask for a background or two, you know?
That is true. You could ask for more. There could always be more. You could get Naughty. You could get Claptrap. You know, I could go all day. Espresso, like, where's Espresso? You could do more. But I'm not going to complain. We finally got Diddy.
Do you think when these go away that we'll get Donkey Kong Country 2? By any chance? Donkey Kong Country 2 icons?
We should get all three, but I doubt it.
they don't love us. Yes, Calamity Nolan in the live chat saying Candy Kong. I do beg for Candy Kong. She was a crush for me when that game came out in 1990. What year?
Yeah. Too hairy. 1994.
Too hairy. Look, I was 6 at that point. I didn't judge hair. It was all fine.
I had a crush on Ariel. I mean, and she has fins.
Yeah, she got no legs. She got no anything down there. It's just
she eventually
fish.
Anywho, now I wish I had that picture at Disneyland. I met Ariel. My wife told me to go get a picture with her. I should have sent that to you.
Yes, dude, that'd be so funny. That'd be so funny.
So the other ones we got here.
Speaking of fish, people
returning. Yes. Anywho, Splatoon Grand Festival Icons Wave 2 are up, available until August the 27th. You can see some of them. Well, there's 2 of them up there on the screen on the little announcement right now. There's some pretty cool ones in there. Some that were already there, and some new ones have popped up. So go check.
Yeah, this
out.
is just the official tweet from Nintendo, so I just used that, so I didn't have to update it every week. But there are more than 2. They usually put up like about 10 to 15 of these things, so you got 10 to 15 assets that you can snag for Grand Festival going on.
Yeah, that's again the icons. That's all there is for this week for MyNintendo. But we do have a game demo that is up right now. Oh, man.
And everybody wish me happy birthday on my birthday. It's 12/13/1988.
It is for, is it Emio? Is that
it's Emio.
I've read it, but I've never really said it out loud. The Smiling Man. So, I don't know if it's something I'm super into. I don't know about you. But it's a free demo, so. You know,
I kind of fell down the visual novel, that visual novel hole back when I was playing through 999 on my DS, and that was kind of recent. It was a couple months ago, and this was after playing through Doki Doki Literature Club as well, which, by the way, I don't necessarily recommend that game to everybody, but 999 is one that I would recommend to just about everybody. The Nonary games. And Emio kind of, it does have my interest peaked, but I didn't play the first 2 Famicom Detective Clubs, and I probably should, and I probably would, if those things would ever go on a decent enough sale for me to justify buying them, because they are a little bit, even this one, Emio the Smiling Man, it's $50. It's $50 at launch. So I don't know that I necessarily want to drop that amount of cash on a visual novel video game. But at the same time, I'm very into this genre at this point, and that's another thing I don't think I would have ever said that I would have been. So I don't know. Check out the demo though. It's the first 3 chapters that you get to play through, which is crazy. That's a good demo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad deal. Especially if you just really have no idea what this is about, that's a good way to go check it out. I don't know. Might grab your attention.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
The next thing we got here going on is a few in-game events.
Oh, good. The bumper didn't play. Why did the bumper not play?
Right.
Here we go. All right, so we got 2 things going on for seasonal events with Pokemon going on. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The ongoing, we've talked about this for 3 weeks now. If you aren't getting this Pokemon, you're never going to get it at this point. Just go in there, log in, do your raid. But they have Gimmighoul chest form and 1 to 5 star Terra raids that are available for you to be able to capture and make your own to become the very best like no one ever was. And then you also still have the opportunity, and this goes on through the 22nd, to pick up Wattrel in Paldea, Riolu in Kitakami, and Comfey in Blueberry Academy, all 3 of which have a higher chance to spawn as shinies, all 3 of which have a higher chance to have the pumped up mark as well. But starting on the 23rd this week, which is 3 days from time of recording now, so on Friday, you can get the chance to snag a 7-star Terrorform 7-star Dragonite. I'll eventually get it out. Larvitar and Bagon, shiny and charismatic mark in the Paldea region. Gumi and Hisuian Sliggoo, again, same thing, shiny and charismatic mark in the Kitakami region. And in the Blueberry Academy, Beldum with the shiny and the charismatic mark as well are available in Mass Outbreak. So you should be able to snag those starting on the 23rd, going through September 1st. The date to get the Gimmighoul, Watchwell, Riolu, and Comfy, though, ends on the 22nd. So you got 2 more days from time of recording now. Also, we don't have anything new on Splatoon 3 yet. We'll talk about that next month, because there is a very, very cool Grand Festival getting ready to roll out. But Nintendo World Championships NES Edition Challenge number 6. Challenge set number 6 is available for people to go and try to become the Nintendo World Championship for the Nintendo World Champion for your age range, region, blah, 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 whatever. The 2 normal challenges are Quick Draw in Metroid, Shivery Start on Ice Climber. The 2 hard challenges are One of a Kind in Super Mario Bros. 3 and Bombs Away Kirby's Adventure. And then the Master Challenge is Beneath the Hollow Tree in The Legend of Zelda, the original one.
It's a pretty cool one. You got to rush through the whole first dungeon in that one.
That is crazy. You just posted something this week about being a champion, didn't you?
Yeah. So I just checked the results from the last one, and there was, which one is it? It's Pop It from the balloon fight challenges there. It looks like there was 38,955 total players. And I got the number 1 rank, probably tied with a bunch of other people, but I still got number 1.
It still counts.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah. Feel pretty good about that one. So I'm still trying to check in and out of this game.
Dude, you should check that Japanese site that we talked about the other day that featured the cheater on Donkey Kong Arcade, and see if your video's up there. See if it's you. That would be interesting, because you can see those wins.
Oh yeah,
that would be cool. We may check. We'll check that after we get off the call. But that is it as far as events are concerned. We do have a couple of sales going on. There's a Ubisoft Back to School sale. This actually started on the 14th and goes through to the 28th, where you can get up to 75% off select titles here. Assassin's Creed 3 is of note for 63% off. Immortals Phoenix Rising, which is really good. Honestly, it's well worth $14.99. 75% off. Of course, the Mario Rabbids stuff. I almost didn't talk about it, but I knew if I didn't, that Josh would tell me. You can get yourself the Uno and Uno DLCs on here. I'm calling them DLCs. I think they're actually standalones for 60-40% off, depending on what you're wanting to do. But there's quite a bit of stuff there that you may enjoy, up to 75% off going through the 28th. And then there's also the NIS America Cool Savings Sale. If you're a fan of Disgaea, this is a really, really decent sale. Disgaea titles, it depends on the title. Disgaea 1, for instance, 65% off. Disgaea 7, 32% off. So it depends on what you're looking for. Prinny, which is actually a really good series, 60% off. Both those for $7.99 each. And then Trails, if you like Trails of Cold Steel, very long, very terrible JRPGs. And I'm being honest as a person who is a fan of the Trails series.
That's me.
They're bad, but you'll enjoy them. 60% off, depending on the title, down to 30% off as well. So go snag yourself some deals on some Nintendo Switch games. Get some cheap video games. I will say, I did not see one single 90% off when I was browsing that sale. I don't know why they're advertising it as save up to 90% off. I did see an 85, but you can't just round up like that, NIS America. So that is pretty much it for the sales, for the events, for the MyNintendo news. One thing we didn't do, I totally forgot to do, let's make sure we thank our members. If you'd like to support the show in a more direct way, you can sign up now at NintendoRewind.com. Every bit of support you give, no matter what the tier is helpful, and we are super thankful for that. Alternatively, if you're watching this live here on Twitch, you can type !member in our chat, and we'll provide a link to be able to go and sign up to support us. Right now, we do have Calamity Nolan and Sierra Christian and the Rewinder tier and Shiny Bird in the supporter tier. Your all's help means the world to me. Thank you so much. And Josh and Chris, of course. It means the world to them as well. But you can get thanked for your support in our weekly video, exclusive access to additional content There are currently 2 videos up over there that you can only see there, and 10% merchandise discounts as well, up to 15% depending on what tier you sign up for. So thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Now we're going to get into the main topic today, Gamescom. Josh, I hesitated to talk about Gamescom today because I will say this much. If there is a man who hates Jeff Keighley more, I don't know who it is, because it's it's Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor hates Jeff Keighley. But I did tell him earlier today because we were kind of chatting back and forth. I did tell him, I was like, hey, look, as much as we dislike Jeff Keighley as a person, he did kind of fill that space. And I said as much as we dislike Jeff Keighley as a person, he did kind of fill that space that E3 filled before. And he gave us back something that we don't have access to, which is something very similar to E3 and getting announcements and everything. Yes, it's an ad-a-palooza. Yes, you have to pay millions of dollars to Jeff Keighley's direct bank account to be able to get a video game into the event. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have Nintendo show up a whole lot.
No.
But I don't know if that's Nintendo's fault more than it is Jeff Keighley's fault. Who knows?
Right? I don't know either.
I'm not going to blame one or the other right now.
When he's there, Nintendo's usually not. Be it the Game Awards.
Oh my God.
The awards that Nintendo should win some of, or here or wherever.
Well,
they don't mix.
On that topic, the kind of on the awards side of it, Gamescom usually does hand out awards for best Nintendo game. This year they cut that category. That's not even like our extra Nintendo news segment. That's just like something I wanted to bring up right now. They cut the best Nintendo game from the Gamescom awards because there was not. The reason being, not because of Jeff Keighley.
It was G-off. G-off.
It was because there were too few submissions for best Nintendo game to properly do the competition, which I get. We've talked about it here on this show. This last year was the year of remakes, was it not?
Yeah, just awful weird coincidence. Okay.
Oh man. Well, listen, even though
I'm glad I went. I'm glad I went to Gamescom in 2019 and not this year. I mean, I would have still went. Trust me, I would have still sure as heck
Pokemon
went,
Company there on the floor somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I remember walking up to I left the Ubisoft group. Was like, I'll be right back, guys, to go find Nintendo, and I found it, and that was like an amazing feeling. I wouldn't have had that. They just weren't there.
That I understand. I completely understand. Will they ever be there? Who knows? Will they ever be there? I don't know.
Probably.
Nintendo will Nintendo. I think here's the thing I do think, because like what this topic almost was why wasn't Nintendo at Gamescom? And I don't know if we're educated enough to make a proper logical guess for that and actually have a good topic, a good show topic at that point, right? What I assume is this. Before we dive into the 6 games that were revealed at Gamescom for Nintendo Switch today, what I assume is that Nintendo thinks that they have a more direct way that doesn't cost them, $250,000 to be able to put a game in a showcase by doing Nintendo Directs, right? So they don't want to spend the extra money to go and be there. And so it kind of does look like they get the cold shoulder from G-off, but I'm going to just say, I'm just going to say, I think it's Nintendo just being Nintendo and trying to save money in whatever way they can.
Be a mix.
So, and it could be a mix. Maybe they just don't like Jeff. Jeff does come off as loud and boisterous American, not necessarily Japanese savant businessman,
He's like a car salesman. I don't know, I can go on.
Oh man. But I watched the showcase today. It was like 2 hours long. It started at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I watched it all 2 hours of it. And I walked away from it going, there wasn't anything for Nintendo. Like, where was the stuff for Nintendo? and I took a very angry nap. It's like, why did I waste that 2 hours of my life? But
people look on your face when you're sleeping.
Dude, it was just anger. It was just rage nap. It was like this the entire time. But I got back on the internet, started doing some research after that very angry nap to go, okay, what can we talk about tonight? Because I just didn't want to go, why wasn't Nintendo at Gamescom? But there were 6 games. There were 6 games that were announced or revealed, or a trailer was finally shown for these games that are coming to Nintendo Switch. And a lot of these within the early portion of 2025 and closer. So there are 6 total games, and one of them is going to be one that you guys are probably pretty familiar with in something known as Dave the Diver, which is exciting. Dave the Diver is getting a crossover with MXM Toon, which I'm not familiar with, Balatro, which I am familiar with. It's the game where you're playing poker, but it's not quite poker. It's like a roguelike deck building game, and you can like pull in cards from other card games and put them into your deck, and then like go up against people and do poker for like points. I don't understand it. It's crazy. I should play more Balatro.
Crazy.
I should probably play more Balatro. But then also Potion Craft, which looked like 2D. It looked like 2D Overcooked in some ways. So I don't know. I'm just going to kind of let this trailer kind of speak for the game just a little bit more while we chat about it. Well, eventually I'll get there. But right now they said, and all of these like trailers are hosted mostly by IGN. But Dave the Diver's teaming up with the MXM Toon, Balatro, and Potion Craft to bring brand new content to the game on all platforms in October. So not next month, but the month after, 2024, which I feel like Dave the Diver has had a whole lot of like content updates since it came out. Like they've done Godzilla crossovers. They've done tons of crossover content. I think they have Pepper Grinder crossover content. I could be wrong. But details are sparse for now, and we don't know whether it's free or if it'll be a paid update, but you can get a sense for crossover content in the trailer above. How do you feel about it? What are you thinking? Are you excited for this? Is this going to get you to finally break down and buy an indie game, Josh? Because I know you don't want to support your indies anymore since
No, that is not true. I can show you my Switch. I don't know. I think it's kind of a wait and see. It's not something that immediately grabs my attention. There's just so much, I think, is my problem. There's just so many indie games. And I feel bad because I'm like, I know I'm missing some good stuff in there, but it's not the first thing that would grab my attention on this list, at least.
Is Dave the Diver not an indie game? Who publishes Dave the Diver?
I don't know.
Let me go do a Google because I'm being called out and told that it's not an indie game. Mint Rocket. Developers Mint Rocket. Nexon Company Limited, South Korean video game developer and publisher, develops, publishes titles. Maple Story, oh, okay. Blue Archive, Dungeon and Fighter, Sudden Attack, and Cartrider. I don't know. Like, they might be owned by somebody, but I feel like this is like, who did it? Who was the developer? Who's the developer on this? I guess Mint Rocket is both. Mint Rocket is owned by Nexon? Now I'm learning stuff. I don't know.
You didn't come here to learn.
Right? I need to stop learning. I need to refuse to learn. And they do have a lot of games. Titanfall Online, Nexon. What the heck? Dave the Diver, Mint Rocket. Interesting. I didn't know that. Now I know things. The Game Awards called it an indie game, but it's not. The devs also say they're not indie. The more you know. Thank you, Super Nintendo. I need more fact checkers out there in the world. I need more fact checkers out there in our audience. I just assumed it was an indie team because it kind of had that indie look, but I guess it would make sense where they've had so much crossover content they would not be considered indie. I can't imagine anybody like wanting to work with an indie team unless you're Among Us, and that's pretty much it. And that was just kind of like a flash in the pan, crazy. Hey, you went up like 1,000 points. So who knows? Who knows? Rude.
2020.
I'm being called out in the chat still yet. What you rude? All of you, every single one of you people who are watching
Get
us.
out of here.
Oh man. But I don't know. Dave the Diver, is it something that strikes your fancy? Are you interested? No? Yeah?
Kind of meh. I mean, we'll see. I'm open to a lot of stuff, but not something I'm going to run after immediately.
Who would want to work with an indie? I don't know, cool people. I agree, but I'm just saying I don't think many of those people would be working on Godzilla movies and going, you know what? The Godzilla would fit in here. I'm just saying. But there was also another game that I'm going to call all of these indies. This Nico DeRico had an official announcement. I didn't have any clue what this game was at all. I was surprised by it. But the moment I saw it was the moment I went, you know who's going to like this game? Josh. Josh is absolutely going to love this game. So the description here is join Nico and Luna on their quest with Nico DeRico, a vibrant platform adventure. When the duo discovers an ancient relic on a magical island, the villainous Grimbald of the Cobring Gems Company, my gosh, germs, snatches it away. To save the island and its tribes, they must navigate 7 unique worlds with the help of their animal friends and defeat the Cobring army. With family-friendly design, couch co-op, and music by David Wise, Nico DeRico promises a magical, mysterious journey for all ages. Josh?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously this one's probably the one I'm most interested in. Seems to be mostly up my alley. The gameplay itself reminds me the most of like the Donkey Kong Country games that Retro made, more than it does like the original Rare ones, which, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Anything with co-op is cool. I like most of the designs and things like that. Something about the main characters like designs is off to me. I'm not sure what it is, but
they're a little anime in the face. But I also see some like Disney, you know. I see some Disney inspiration.
This looks pretty cool, and a little mix of like Crash Bandicoot in there. It's definitely something I'll keep my eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know me.
Hang on a second. They even had Kong letters there, dude. They were going through this like side scroller area here. Look at that spinning O. There's a spinning O. Kong letters. They have it in here.
That looks like the alligator dude looks like, is it Croc? We were talking about this before from Super Mario RPG. I think it's a hat.
Mm-hmm.
There's another game that.
Well, he's also purple. This guy, the Cobra guy.
There's another on a Switch. I gotta think of the name of it. That is very similar to Donkey Kong Country. That is awesome. That I think is overlooked a lot. And darn it, I cannot remember the name of it right now off the top of my head.
Ukulele?
No, this looks cool. No,
The Impossible.
No, I mean I love that too. But no, I'll have to think of it. But of course, I'm very happy that David Wise is doing the soundtrack. I mean, that's one of my favorite composers. It always has been. So.
Dude does good stuff. Yeah. Although I will say some of his stuff that I've heard newer, I haven't liked as much as the MIDI tracks that that are very reminiscent of the Donkey Kong Country days. I still like his music.
The Tropical Freeze stuff, which shoot, that game's getting older now. I think is really good.
It is, but it's not as good. It's not as good, in my opinion. That could be just me feeling nostalgia for whatever that underwater track is in Donkey Kong Country.
Aquatic ambience.
Yes, I love that one. The next game that they announced on here, King of Meat, it is an Amazon Games partnering with Glowmade to present King of Meat, a 1-4 player hacking slashing co-op game with UGC dungeon building, which I don't even know what UGC stands for. Like, somebody needs to catch me up. If someone in live chat knows, let me know. But it's set in the mystical world of Lorgok. King of Meat takes you to a place of dragons, trolls, skeletons, user-generated content. Okay, that's what UGC stands for. Thank you, Nolan. But takes you to a place of dragons, trolls, skeletons, and of course corporate commercialism where high fantasy meets glitz, glamour, and media infatuation of modern-day celebrity. The focus of this obsession is the wildest survival game show imaginable, King of Meat, where you are the entertainment. Like, this kind of like... I will tell you what vibes I get from this game, and it's Fall Guys meets like a 3D style Castle Crashers, and I don't know why. I think it might just be them saying like medieval and just like the party game chaos of it all. might be what's kind of like giving me that vibe, but Fall Guys absolutely. And especially now knowing that it's like user generated dungeons and it's not like
That worries me.
yeah, like there's not going to be the polish there that you necessarily would want. It's like going on not to talk about Fortnite any more than I have during this show, but it's like going on any of those user generated maps and seeing just the garbage that's been made on there.
Tried those. I was like, these are they don't even run correctly. I was like, what is this mess?
I don't know. Like, I was interested until I learned what UGC stood for literally about 2 seconds ago. So now
I was about half interested. I was like, oh, okay, I like some like good beat 'em up kind of games. Maybe a good co-op game that could be fun. But
yeah, I've enjoyed stuff like Gang Beasts and Fall Guys. Like, I've enjoyed those things, but
okay,
like they're not like a main game I would play.
Yeah, I don't know.
King of Meat, interesting, but. I don't know. This sounds absolutely terrible. Keywork in the live chat sounds about Amazon. Absolutely, it does. And then something everybody should kind of get a little bit excited about. If you are a fan of the Civ series, which has been around for ages, I mean, you can select Gandhi to be a warlord for Christ's sake. Like, it is absolutely insane. I heavily recommend Civilization, but I will say, if you do not like sim style city builders mixed with like PvP, you are not going to enjoy Civilization.
I do have a question because you know a little bit more about this than I do. When you say there are battles included, is this like against computer or is this against people?
It can be against both. So you can do computer and you can do PvP.
Computer it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will say the computer cheats all too much, dude. Like it is a cheater. It's awful. But the description here: rule as one of the many legendary leaders from throughout history. Establish your civilization. Construct cities and architectural wonders to expand your territory. Conquer or cooperate with rival civilizations. So that's the other thing. Think of it like Settlers of Catan, but like not quite. In pursuit of prosperity and explore the far reaches of the unknown world. Will you build an empire that stands the test of time? So like that's the other thing. Like you progress like your empire for as long as you can keep it up. Like you can get to these multiple ages and have different weapons and different things like that you can kind of like work your way through. I don't know, Civilization. If you know Civilization, you know what you're getting into. So if you don't know it, watch the trailer. Hear what the developer at Firaxis has to say about it. It's interesting. It isn't. I don't think it's everyone's necessary. I definitely don't think it's everyone's type of game. But it is one that I think a lot of people may actually enjoy a whole lot more. And I liked. At Firaxis, they did Marvel's Midnight Suns, and that game was really, really good. It was like a turn-based deck building tactical strategy game themed in Marvel comics. So like I really enjoyed that. I think they did XCOM as well. I might be wrong. XCOM dev. Let me go look that up. Let's Google it. Yeah, it was Firaxis. So they've done XCOM before, and Civ is more along the lines of a RTS in some ways, real-time strategy game, more than anything else with the city building mechanic on it. So I don't know, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be your type of game, Josh, to be completely honest. But I think since you own one, you should try that before you go play this one.
Yeah, there has been the one on Switch has been on like huge sales before. I think I got it for like $2 a while back. And I've never tried it. It's just kind of sitting there for a rainy day.
Do they only have one on Switch? Type in Civilization on Switch.
I'm not sure.
6. Yeah, they only have 6 on Switch. As a matter of fact, it's not on sale right now, but you can get it for like $30. So if you want to try out 6 instead of just 7 as well. So, and then out of all of these game announcements, I think the one that I'm most excited about is Little Nightmares 3. I did not realize that Little Nightmares 2 did not have co-op. And part of that's because I haven't played it yet. But I'm thinking like when this third one comes out, I may just like grind through all 3 of them, Little Nightmares 1, 2, and 3. And then kind of just enjoy the trilogy as a whole. and hope that they don't do any more of them. Not that I don't want that series to survive, but I think, it's time to move on to something else, or maybe name it something besides a numbered entry. I don't know that I want Little Nightmares 4, so give it a subtitle and then we can move on. But in Little Nightmares 3, you follow the journey of Lo and Alone as they search for a path that could lead them out of nowhere, which, mind you, 6 is no longer in this as your AI companion. Trapped within the spiral, which is a cluster of disturbing places, the two friends will have to work together to survive in a dangerous world full of delusions and escape the grasp of an even greater threat lurking in the shadows. For the first time in the franchise, face your childhood fears together with a friend in online co-op or in solo with an AI companion. So, I don't know, this game looks pretty. All of these games look pretty. And I am interested in the fact that Supermassive is the developer on this. Chat's actually kind of mentioning it on here. Being the developer for this title in the series. Let's go do some more Googling. How are you feeling about this, by the way?
I think I'm definitely interested in it. I played a lot of the first one. I think I got stuck at some point and just, I don't know if I got onto some other game and forgot about it. So unfortunately, I never beat it. Never got to play 2. I remember them. They were actually promoting it when I was at Gamescom, and they little characters were creepily walking around and stuff. But no, I like the look of this one, and co-op interests me if I can find the right person to play it with for a game like this. So
absolutely, no, I'm with you. It is interesting. So Supermassive, just kind of for anyone who is wondering. Supermassive has done quite a bit of stuff. I mean, they've worked on DLC for Little Big Planet. They've done stuff for the PlayStation Move, Sackboy's Prehistoric Moves, and Start the Party. They've done some stuff with the BBC for a couple of games. So I mean, it is interesting what they're doing here. They've also done the thing that most people, I think, know them for is stuff like Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology or whatever it is, where you've got those quick time events that you're playing through. So they understand horror, and I like that. I like that a lot, and I think they could build something very, very immersive, and the environments be very, very cool in this. But I don't know, I hate seeing that get handed over to a different company instead of just letting Tarsier who worked on the first 2 finish out their trilogy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I will say I normally don't like horror games in general.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
But this is more, even though it is horror, right? Even though it is that, I will say something about it being 2D scares me a whole lot less than the 3D immersive horror game. So I think I can get behind this one, and it may not be too scary. Nolan's bringing up, they have a new game. So Tarsier, the people who did this originally, they have a new game coming out called Reanimal, and they do. And I thought that was what Little Nightmares 3 was going to be. And then they put up the title because I knew Little Nightmares 3 had been delayed to 2025 originally. And then they put up the title as Reanimal. And I was like, wait a second, are they getting rid of the Little Nightmares title? And then I was like, what the heck? Also, I didn't realize it was THQ Nordic that didn't do the publishing on the first 2. I was Googling Little Nightmares THQ Nordic after that. And it was Bandai Namco. But I was like, oh my gosh. But Reanimal looks a lot. I mean, it has 2 characters. One of them looks very much like the main protagonist for Little Nightmares. That game looks crazy. But we're getting a little too off the beaten path here because there's no confirmation on whether that game is going to come to Switch or whatever next iteration of Nintendo is. I don't think that's going to come to Nintendo, to be completely honest. Not immediately, anyway. I think that'll be in development for a little bit and then maybe see a re-release later. But I don't know. I'm excited for Little Nightmares 3. That was cool. And then the final game on here, this game seems interesting. And out of all the games shown, I think this game will perform the worst on the Nintendo Switch out of all of the games shown.
And running wise,
yeah.
Frame rate.
Yeah, frame rate, graphics, like there are going to be a lot of compromises that are going to have to happen with this game, because this game, it is very pretty. It's very different, and at the same time, very much the same as everything else that you've seen in most Nintendo Directs as of late. But this is a brand new life sim from NetEase. Floatopia lets you craft and build your own floating island while also meeting friends who have superpowers. You can play alone or play with others, and it's coming to all consoles in 2025. For some reason, I cannot get this to get any bigger. Let me see if I can make it bigger on this screen.
New life simulation.
I can.
There we go.
So, Floatopia. It's a life sim game. It's a cozy game, but it has one of the prettiest art styles out of all of these games, and at the same time will look the absolute worst. What it looks like on this Twitter video compression is probably what it's going to look like on the Nintendo Switch, to be completely honest. Like, it is crunchy. I don't think it's going to be smooth. It is not going to be 60 frames per second. This is going to be at best 24 frames per second most of the time, I would imagine. But it's interesting because it kind of gives me like Hello Kitty adventure vibes. And I'm very excited about that. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm thinking that it's not going to be quite what we necessarily need or want on the Nintendo Switch in its final stage of life. So if it was on life support before, it's definitely going to need to stay there after this game comes out. You can go ahead, Josh. I'm done talking about Floatopia.
I thought the thing broke there for a second. I was like,
no, I broke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say on it, really. I don't play a whole lot of these sort of games. I mean, other than Animal Crossing. Now, it might be okay. It might be something that will be worth looking into. I see what you're saying about issues or potential issues with like frame rate and things like that. I feel like the Switch could run something like this easily if it was like just made for the Switch, if they built it around that. But with it kind of being made for everything else first, I don't know. We'll see. The way the lighting and things look, I kind of see what you're saying. It's hard to explain, but no, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot of games like this already, so
yeah,
it's a wait and see.
Yeah, I'm interested from an art style perspective. Netist in the live chat says NetEase and Nexon are both mobile MMO slop companies. Any original game they make will certainly be all flair and marketing with zero substance. Part of me understands that and agrees with it. But another part of me, here's what I will say to you, is I really enjoyed Marvel Rivals, and they're the same company that's publishing. I think they're publishing Marvel Rivals. I don't think they're part of the development team by any means. But Marvel Rivals is kind of like an Overwatch-like competitor, and I know there's a lot of people that are very opposed to Overwatch, but I actually really enjoyed Marvel Rivals a lot. I liked Overwatch 1 back in the day when Blizzard knew what they were doing with that property. And I think Marvel Rivals has a good chance to be a good NetEase game. All of the content's going to be free. All of the heroes are going to be unlocked straight up from the beginning.
To Switch.
That was announced. I hope it comes to Switch. That'd be cool, but they never said it was. Unfortunately, it wasn't even compatible with Steam Deck when the beta test was going on. So I don't know if it's going to come to Switch. But I don't know. Like, this scene here gives me little Nemo Dream Master vibes too. So I don't know. I think as far as that goes, those are the 6 games that we can look forward to that are coming out on the Nintendo Switch for this year and going into the beginning of next. If you had to think about like what was your favorite announcement from Gamescom opening night? What would you, out of the 6 that we got, what's the thing you're most excited for?
He knows what I want to say. He knows I was going to say the Sonic and Shadow Generation stuff because that looks awesome.
Yeah, I had to hedge just a little bit.
Yeah. So, no, out of what we mentioned here, I've had to really think about it. It's between 2. It's between that. I don't know how to say this. I think it's Nico Dorico and Little Nightmares 3. I'm a little bit worried about that one where it sounds like there's different people sort of behind it.
Yeah.
I hope that's not a problem. But no, I think that one looks really cool. And of course, like we already said, not Nick or I don't love the name.
Nico DeRico.
Nico DeRico. Like we already said, that looks like my sort of game. But that's probably the two I'm most interested in. Then maybe followed by Civilization. Maybe, I don't know. I might like that. Nothing here looks like a complete poop, I would say.
Dude, so Emperor Gambes on the live chat's here saying Shadow can literally pull a manta ray out of his rear end. Now, I'm going to say, like, Venom has nothing on Shadow based on that trailer. I don't even think we didn't put it in the show notes, but I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it up here for the people to be able to see. That looks. This whole, like, what do they call that? Doom mode Shadow? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's Doom.
Doom.
Black Doom. You know, it's a whole thing.
Stop judging me. Leave me out. Stop judging me. I feel judged. Hang on a second. Let's go over here to this. It is.
If I tried to explain it in 5 seconds, it would just sound more confusing.
What is Doom Shadow? Explain it now. I need to know. Is it a form of him? Is it kind of like Chaos Emerald, like Supersonic?
Black Doom is sort of his daddy.
Is his dad?
Dude. And a lot of times he floats around on like an eye. Well, sort of. Not Professor Gerald Robotnik.
He wasn't a clone of Sonic?
With some of these aliens' blood.
Okay.
Black arms. Okay.
Okay.
And Black Doom is their leader.
Okay. What game was this in?
You had to be there.
I wasn't
Shadow
there.
the Hedgehog.
Oh, the terrible one from.
It was not terrible. Did you play it?
I mean, there's a reason not. I didn't.
I played it. I love that. The music in it's still really good. I like it, but no, that's where it originates from. And then a lot of these levels are just from.
This looks like Penny's Big Breakaway.
Some of these games, Shadow's not even in. Like Forces sort of shows up there. There's Doom, but yeah. I'm not gonna fully go into the whole story.
No, you need to now. I'm more confused than anything at this point. Like, what?
All you need to know is Black Doom is his alien daddy.
Okay, so he's an octopus from space, as Emperor Gambessa has eloquently put it in the. I think. Listen, you don't know your sea life like Emperor Gambessa does. So he's a space octopus, and he was. So, and Nolan's saying that he predates Sonic. So Shadow is older than Sonic?
Yes.
Why does he look so much like Sonic?
I don't know. That part's never really explained. They're
Is he Sonic's dad?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. Never, nothing ever hints at that. If you look at Silver, he looks kind of like Sonic, and he's in the future.
He looks less like Sonic than Shadow does, though. Shadow looks just like Sonic, but black. And like with more hair gel.
Yeah, he's also part alien.
That's fair. That's fair.
Going for him.
I don't know. I would say Little Nightmares, by the way, just to get back on the topic. I'm so confused by this. I'd say Little Nightmares is my number one, followed by shoot. I was kind of interested in Nico Rodrigo, whatever his name is. I liked the look of that game.
The Dorito.
Yeah, Nico Dorito. But I don't know. Like I think Nico is an interesting game from a standpoint that it's probably going to play like a Rareware title. And I'm not the biggest fan of its floaty physics. That's just me. That's personal tasting. It's no criticism of the game. I'm sure they're great, and I'm trying my best not to offend Josh right now. I don't want to make him upset with me. So,
which ones? I mean, it would offend me either way. But the rare ones or the retro ones, or both.
I would say both. They all kind of have like this float to the physics with them, and it's just not my favorite thing. Super Nintendo, by the way, Chris, we miss you here. Give Shadow his guns and make him Shadow Netta. He can be Bayonetta, but in the Sonic the Hedgehog, I'd be totally down for that. That'd be so sick.
No, not the Bayonetta.
I liked Bayonetta. Yes. It was good. I liked Bayonetta. Bayonetta was good. What are you talking about? No, not Bayonetta. Get out of here. If you don't like it, eat it.
Shadow.
Little Nightmare's cool. Floatopia, it's gonna run bad. I have zero faith in it. I have zero interest now that I know what UGC content is. I have zero interest in King of Meat.
Real fast.
Yeah, and then I guess
we can't afford a designer.
No, not at all. And then I guess Dave the Diver, it comes in a strong fourth. The DLC there, even if I know, or a strong third. So I guess Little Nightmares, Nico DeRico, Civilization, Dave the Diver, Floatopia, and King of Meat is probably like my ranking for those titles from top to bottom. Is ranking my excitement level. So I don't know. Interesting. We're gonna go to the extra Nintendo news though. Nintendo did a direct yesterday, and it happened at like 3:00 in the afternoon or something like that. I can't remember, maybe in 3 or 4. And it was a direct over the Nintendo Museum. It was like 15 minutes long, and there wasn't a whole lot here. What I will tell you is that there is some very, very cool stuff in here. The first thing that I really liked about it, and I'm going to kind of like scroll through this direct with you guys really quickly, is the nods to the products from Nintendo past. So you can kind of see in the background behind Mr. Miyamoto-san, Shigeru, you can kind of see they have their early prototype light guns. They have their copy machine, which they focus on in the direct. They even have this like baby stroller that Nintendo put out. That's super cool in some of their board games. And they talk a little bit about their Hanafuda era right after this segment in the direct, which was really neat. But the museum itself is more of an interactive exhibit too. Rather than just somewhere you're going to be walking around in. So they give you these devices to be able to go around and play the games, and you get like a card that's kind of like a Dave and Buster's style like points card that you can use in these exhibits to like do specific things that you can play some of the experiences. But they have a batting cage with the, forget what they called this, the Ultra Machine. They have a batting cage. You can go into these like replica Nintendo offices and play with the Ultra Machine. And what's cool about it, they don't really show it super well until here. If you hit the ball into some of the stuff in the background, it like reacts to what you hit the ball into, which is kind of cool. I like the fact that they're replicas of the Nintendo offices from like way back in the day whenever he first started working there. Which, by the way, I didn't realize he's been there since 1977, which is insanity. Dude's been there for like 50 years. Then they had this laser gun, light gun shooting range that you can do, and this just looks like chaos on the walls. You can use either the original NES Zapper or the Super Nintendo Super Scope and try to shoot, and you gain points for doing everything here. And that's a cool experience. But they have something similar to this, not in our Super Nintendo land, I don't think, or Super Nintendo world. Did they have it?
Something fairly similar, yeah. When you fight Bowser Jr.
Okay, so they do have it at the California one. I didn't realize they had it.
Yeah, you don't use a gun.
No, you use your hands.
And all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you use your hands. You can shoot fire at them and things like that. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kick his butt.
But it's interesting. I like the fact that you use the light guns on this. I like that nostalgia kick. And then the thing that I was most intrigued by is the video games you can play with giant controllers. So literally Shigeru Miyamoto and a aide at the museum, they go and demo this exhibit, and Miyamoto is on D-pads and his partner is on the B and the A buttons. And they make it through.
Be that aid.
Yes, dude, I would be intimidated.
Like you were playing Super Mario Brothers with Miyamoto,
the guy who made it.
Controller. Like,
Super Nintendo Dad jests, by the way, in the live chat. He says, "Where's the giant Mario Kart Wii wheel?" Let me fast forward just a little bit. If you look in the background here,
the Wiimotes is hilarious.
You have two people holding on to a giant Wiimote playing Pilot Wings Wii or whatever that is. What was that? What was that game? I can't even think.
I didn't catch it. I'd have to go back. But it's the comically large Wiimotes are ridiculous.
I freaking love that. I love that more than anything in my soul. It's so funny. But, Nolan also brings up, new speedrun category. That'd be so freaking hilarious doing giant, like in Nintendo Museum speedrun. Like Nintendo Museum %. But there was some really, really cool stuff here. They show off the cafe where you can make your own burger, essentially. Like, they also are gonna have a shop in there, which makes complete and total sense. I mean, it is a Nintendo location. It's opening in October this year, and this is for Japan audiences only. Pretty much, it's the only way you're gonna get to see it. I am gonna turn on the audio here because I want you guys to hear these toads as Miyamoto runs his hands across their heads.
のミュージアムでお待ちしています。キノピオたちも一緒にお待ちしてますよ。
It's freaking adorable. It's freaking adorable. So, I don't know. I'm excited for that. I think it'll be cool. I want to go and see it someday. It is on my list of things to do. How do you feel about the direct, Josh? I know you said you didn't have time to watch it, and I don't blame you.
I was at one of my two works whenever it played, but no, I wanted to watch it. Part of me didn't want to because I'm just super jealous that it's in Japan, and I have no clue how I'm.
Oh, you're just raging.
Yeah, granted, crazier things have happened, so who knows? I'll probably make it someday. I'd like to believe so. But yeah, it looks great. It's definitely a place I would love to hang out for several hours or an entire day.
Dude, I feel like with as much as is there, because they're going to have 8 like interactive exhibits, so it's not just the 4 that were shown there with the Hanafuda floor and the pitching machine and all that. There are 8 interactive exhibits. One of the other things they talked about that I skipped past in here, but you can go there and they have they're going to have days where you can go in and make your own Hanafuda card deck with a person. They'll guide you through like the art style and everything. That'd be really cool to do. I feel like you could definitely spend an entire day there. And like sometimes when people say like, oh, there's a museum, it's like, oh, good stuff on the wall to look at and then leave. But this seems so much more like an actual like experience.
It makes sense too, though, because it's Nintendo. Of course you get to play a game there. Of course, everything's sort of a game.
Yep.
It's kind of like the theme park where I've still got the app downloaded, but you gain points on it and things like that. There's all those little interactive elements. It's like, well, yeah, that makes plenty of sense for them.
I will say they focused a lot on like products that they've made. But my question in terms of their history, are they going to open up about the fact that they own taxi cab companies and what if you're not familiar with Japan, love hotels, which
hotels
are hotels where you can go and rent for like an hour and go make love in and leave if you want to, or stay an entire night. And nowadays you can kind of go stay an entire night, and most people don't really bat an eye because it's very conspicuous, like you're not going in there and being super obvious. Love hotels are one of the 8 exhibits, says Calamity Nolan. Oh, perfect. So I hope that they actually like get down and dirty and not just the family friendly side of what they did, but like the actual history of their company. So poor choice of words, but you know what I mean.
No, it was perfect.
Also on the list here, Plucky Squire got a release date trailer, and I am so excited for this game. This game looks like it reminds me of like Link's Awakening mixed with like it's really hard to explain, but you play as this little pink sword wielding guy. There's another game that I have on Steam and I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but you also play as a little pink guy and who has a sword, and it's very Zelda-esque. But you can kind of see it has all of these like jumping between drawings, like Link Between Worlds, even like kind of like vibes where you can jump into the walls and then suddenly you're in a new world that you can like interact in. and it's got the storybook kind of vibe to it that you're doing. In this trailer, they tease what's going on with when the game is coming out and kind of throwing some stuff out there. They are doing it on January the 17th of 2025 is when this game comes out. Nope, my apologies. September 17th of 2024. So that's the whole joke, by the way. They threw up the wrong date on there to kind of get people going, what? And then they announced it super, super close. I will be picking this game up next month. 1000%.
It does look good. I gotta agree on that one. I don't know if I'll pick it up immediately, just, with all that's out and that sort of thing. But yeah, I could definitely be picking this up later down the road.
It's a Devolver game, dude. Like, Devolver can most of the time have all my money. They do so much good stuff. Like, I love a lot of the Devolver digital games. Carrion was one of my favorites. Enter the Gungeon was really, really good. Let me look at a list of some of their indie games too. Somebody
that's obviously competent, at least. So that's always a good sign.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. So I mean, I have high hopes for this. Trying to see what else is on their list. Hotline Miami is on there. That's another super solid game.
Always wanted to play it, never have.
Let me pull up like a list. Hotline Miami, Death's Door, also good. Wizard with a Gun was interesting. Children of the Sun, we talked about that game on here. It was the one with like that super strange art style that was like super creepy shooter. Inscription, they were a publisher for that game. And Gris. Gato Roboto, Katana Zero has a really cool art style. If you've never played Katana Zero, you can play it through your Netflix account on the Netflix app. Pepper Grinder, which I loved that game. So there's so much good stuff here. Cult of the Lamb. Go check it out. I think this game is going to be awesome. So, and it launches September 17th. Super, super close. Less than a month away now. And then we got Pokemon Go had a whole lot of news along with Pokemon Unite and the announcement of another thing that I want to get to here in a moment. But the closing ceremony for the Pokemon World Championships happened in Honolulu, and they announced a couple of things. First off, you got more Pico coming out to the game, and it's the first one that has a form change mid-battle. So as far as the way that it's been kind of shown off, where Morpeko can change into the purple form of Morpeko. So I think that's interesting. It's not super revealing, but there are going to be more Pokemon from that generation make its way to the Pokemon Go app as well if you're still playing Pokemon Go in 2024. The big thing for Pokemon Go, though, and pun intended, the big thing is it looks like Dynamax is going to be coming to Pokemon Go. Are you still playing Pokemon Go, by the way, Josh? Is this something you pick up from time to time or not?
One of those things, like I've went like a year without touching it, and then all of a sudden I'll pick it up for like a week or something weird. I purposefully picked it up while I was in Disneyland. Because, like now when you catch them, you can get like, or different spots, I forget how it works. You can get like postcards and stuff to send people. Your Pokemon will say where you caught them and when. So yeah, I did play it a few weeks ago just because of that. I don't really keep up with it like with all this little stuff, but it is neat to turn it on every once in a while and see what they've added.
The tease here is very limited. I think that they try to make it obvious. If I had the audio on, you can hear like the giant footsteps going on in the background, but this looks like a Dynamax. That's the theory. No one's really confirmed or denied one way or the other what this is, but it just straight up looks like Dynamaxing. So if you want to check it out, you're going to have some new interactions going on in Pokemon Go. And then 3 new characters are coming to Pokemon Unite. And those 3 characters are Armor Rogue, my apologies, Darkrai, and Psyduck joining the roster. Ceruledge was already in the game from what I remember. If I'm right, that was from an event a couple of months ago. They added him. Armor Rogue. I will eventually get it right. Comes in the attacker class. It's pretty cool. Darkrai is going to be coming in. I'm just going to kind of fast forward through this just a little bit. Darkrai is going to be coming into the game as well. as a speedster, and Psyduck is going to be coming in as a support class character. Let me fast forward to his character reveal here. It is Dynamax. Dynamax already has an icon in Pokemon Go, by the way. I'm being told by Emperor Gombessa, so that's new information. I did not know. I did not know that. But if you want to play as any of these characters, they're going to be out. They have like respective dates. Let me fast forward just a little bit through here. When they come out, I think Psyduck's super cool. September 12th for Armor Rogue, October and November for the following two. So, I'm excited to see a little bit more support still coming to Pokemon Unite. And then this is the big thing that caught my attention. This is the big thing that caught my attention. And this is Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Finally, a release date window for the Pokemon Trading Card Game mobile revamp. Now, if any of you have played the Pokemon Trading Card Game on mobile, it's the worst experience in the entire universe. It's so bad. It's so sluggish. You can only do it on iPad. It was awful. I did not recommend this to anybody. What I will say is that this looks really, really cool, and it's very reminiscent of Marvel Snap. But I am very much interested in jumping into this. There are going to be exclusive cards that are only available through the app. The way that they've got some of these effects, you can kind of see they have 3D effects on some of these cards that you would not be able to emulate on the actual like card itself, so they can only do it digitally. But very, very neat. Is this something that interests you and intrigues you as a Lorcana player, Josh? I know you. You might jump into this one.
It is. I mean, I've got a little bit of a collection of Pokemon cards anyway as well. I never really played the game itself very much, the card game. But no, this interests me when they first announced it a while back. I'm definitely gonna install. I've already got it, I guess, pre-installed or whatever.
Did you pre-registration?
I didn't do all that yet,
Ooh,
but it's downloaded on my phone.
So you can do your pre-registration. You're totally golden. But this game I am very excited for because I do like collecting Pokemon cards. I can't justify spending a whole ton of money on Pokemon cards nowadays. Yeah. Because I don't have anyone to play it with. But this gives me an opportunity to actually play it with people online and you know find some ways to get my way through that game. The last time I really hardcore played this game, I was in middle school and I was playing the Pokemon Trading Card Game on Game Boy Color. That was the last time I really hardcore played this game, and the game has changed significantly over the years. And I've dabbled in it from time to time over the years, mostly for collecting purposes, less for playing purposes. But this game looks cool. It looks cool. I'm excited for it. So, and that brings us to upcoming games and dates. And Josh, you can take that away here in just a moment. What's coming out, Joshua?
All right, so we got a couple here. Nothing huge, but on August the 20th, we have Stumble Guys, which is a free-to-play game. But you can also pay $9.99 for the Founders Pack to get you some stuff to start out with. As you can see there, I've played it on iPhone a while back, simply for the fact that they had a Rabbids collab, and I kind of felt like I had to do it and all that good stuff. But it's a lot like Fall Guys, if you can't already tell. It's been a good while since I've touched it, so I'm trying to remember like any big differences. But it's that same sort of game. I would say if you're not a fan of Fall Guys, this probably isn't for you. But I don't know. It mixes it up maybe just enough. Maybe it'll get your attention. Might be worth a shot. It is a free-to-play game, which can be good or bad, but at least you can give it a shot for nothing. So yeah, like I said, that comes out the 20th. So
which is tomorrow.
Today's the 20th.
Today, yeah, that's today. So I was like,
today. I thought today was the 19th. So yeah, apparently it's already out.
Yep, go play it. Go play it now and tell us what you think about it. Play it right now before the show ends and tell us what you think about it.
And the other release we have here is Mika and the Witch's Mountain. There is a demo available, so that's always a cool thing. It is $19.99 or on sale, like a lot of these games do before they came out, for $16.99 until August the 21st. We're showing a clip up there on the screen right now. So it looks a lot like Oh crap! I can't remember the name of the game. It was like an
Hat in
RPG.
Time is what it reminds me heavy of.
Yes, the gameplay itself does look a good bit like a Hat in Time. The cutscenes reminded me of something else. It was a strange name, but anywho, yeah, I think you kind of said it earlier. It definitely looks a lot like a Hat in Time. It looks like you fly around, deliver packages, and things like that. I think it actually could be pretty fun. The only thing I'm a little worried about myself with it is if it's just sort of mundane, like task, like constant side quest. But I don't know. Looks fairly interesting.
I am excited for this game. I think it's cool. You get a frog chair. There's a cat sitting in it. I mean, you can go pet yourself a kitty in a frog chair, you know. But it's like Kiki's Delivery Service, the video game, and for those Studio Ghibli fans out there, like it is by all intents and purposes meant to make you feel good and feel a little bit of happiness in your life. And if you can't get behind that, then you don't deserve this game. But this game looks cute. I heavily recommend this game. Like it has a demo available as well, so you can try it out before you buy it. $19.99 at full launch on sale right now for $16.99. So it comes out tomorrow.
I'll say worth at least trying it out.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. Josh, we're not doing a Histowave this week. I apologize, chat. We may end up doing that as bonus content going forward, so stay tuned for news on that. But Josh, where can they find you, my friend?
You can find me most active still on Twitter /X at Whopper744 and basically again anywhere else at Whopper744.
Absolutely. Go give Josh a follow over on his everything. And then you can find me Nerdwire Plays. You can check out my website, nerdwireplays.com. It has links to all my stuff, my social media stuff, my YouTube, my like everything that I do. But I would say that most of the time I'm on Twitch, but this last couple of weeks has not been true. We're going to be revisiting some more Sea of Stars tomorrow night on my channel at I don't even remember what time I put on my schedule. What time did I put on the schedule? Time did I put on the schedule, Josh? 8 p.m. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. So you can come check us out there. And then also on Thursday, I'm going to be over on another friend's channel, Team Wildwood, playing some Secret of Mana. We've been doing the multi-tap Super Nintendo Secret of Mana, playing online through a way to emulate my PC on his PC, so we can kind of play together. But you can catch most of our past episodes in video form at youtube.com/@the-Nintendo-Rewind. Visit our site for links to all of our social media pages and more. And you can consider supporting the show through memberships where you get content that's only available over there. And on top of that, discounts on a lot of our merch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, catch us again next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at twitch.tv/Nintendo Rewind. We love your faces. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Good night.